Hey guys, Common Ground here. So, point number 3 for how to have a long and happy, healthy relationship. Although I don't really know what the definition of healthy is. I sometimes think that the standard definition of healthy is an unhealthy relationship. Like, we never raise our voices and we never go below the belt with our comments, and we always... Anyway, and this one I'm going to keep short, but then I'm going to add to it, elaborate. So for all you TikTok viewers, you'll get the quick answer in the next 30 seconds. Under no circumstances does anybody come between you and your partner. It's you and that person versus the world. And trust me, the world will test the two of you. I don't care how lucky you are. I don't care how much money you got. I don't care. The universe just works that way. It will test you. It will push you. It will try to separate you guys. When you're out in public, it's you and that person, whoever that person is for you, versus everybody else. Friends, family, enemies, strangers, does not matter. You, that person, versus the world. Always a united front. Now let me elaborate and give you examples and why it matters. I go to a party with my wife. She gets drunk. She makes some rude comments to the host. She knocks over a drink by accident. What do you think I do when people start coming to me and going, can you control your wife? Like, she's acting like an asshole. She's doing this, she's doing that. Do I go, just like a woman would do about a man, when he gets drunk or she gets drunk, I'm sorry, she gets out of hand? No, I don't do that. Yeah, watch what you say. I got this. You know what I mean? Like, I got this, To put it in perspective, one time I was in a bar and a gentleman walked up to me and he asked me about my brother, my little brother, Petey. And he says, is he like your favorite brother? And I stopped him. I said, let me stop you right there before you get hurt. You're talking about my brother, not my friend, not an acquaintance, not somebody I met at a party. So choose your next words carefully. What do you got to say? When it comes to my wife, that statement doesn't even have to be made. I don't even have to speak. The words don't even have to come out of my mouth. Everybody already knows. When you are out in the world, you will have many partners. Some of them are going to suck. Sorry. They all suck until they don't. And sometimes the ones that don't suck don't stay around anyways. I don't know why. There's no rhyme or reason to it. We could sit there and talk for hours on it. But everybody around you, let's say you have 100 people in your circle. Over the course of a month, you run into 100 different people. Half of them want to see you fail. I mean, I'm just making up numbers, but honestly, probably half want to see a relationship fail. At least 10 want either you or them. Out of those 100, want you for themselves or her for themselves or whatever your partnership is. And if you give them a crack, you give them an opening, you show any daylight, they will stick a wedge in there. They will find a way to separate you guys apart or stir up problems or drama. 10 out of the 100 just like to cause drama because of the heck of it. I had a friend, Angel. Man, that kid used to stir up everywhere he went. I have a son like that too, Junior. Jeffrey, he loves to stir up shit. Just what he does. I don't know. It's something in his personality. Angel was the worst. He would gas people up and cause problems and then just sit back and let's see what happens. He thought it was the greatest thing. Guys like him are no good for relationships, though, because he would cause problems. One time, just to give you an idea, exactly what I'm talking about. I was up on a roof, and I was shingling a roof, and I was near the ridge. And he starts asking me about some ex of mine, about like he saw some stupid thing like that. And I was like, okay. And it's weird, 'cause I hadn't seen this girl in like a year. And he was just like, he's like, yeah, but if she asked about, she's like, would you still want to hang out with her? Like if you could hook up with her, like he was making comments like that. And I'm thinking, what a weird line of questioning. And I just happened to look my head up over the ridge and here comes my girlfriend, who's now my wife, walking alongside the house. And I looked at him and I'm like, I know you son of, like, you know what I mean? He was trying to like set me up, but he just did it in a corny way. So I was able to pick up on it right away. But it was just like, he was trying to get me to talk out of hand while she's walking up. Like that's just who he is. And he was my friend. He just loves drama. He gets a kick out of it. You can't take it back though. When you picked on him, he got all like emotional, which is really weird. But anyway, your parents might not support your relationship. Even your kids. Your friends. So like you're a female, this goes out to the women, and you're dating a guy and he treats you good and he makes you feel good and he loves you. And they're like, yeah, but I mean, look at his job. Like, he doesn't even make that much money. You say, well, he is going to night school also, and he plans to, yeah, but I know, but what's he doing right now? Like, what took him so long? Or, I don't know, he's kind of got big ears, or, he talks funny, or whatever, crap that women say to each other to try to beat each other down. I've been in relationships. I remember one in particular, younger girl, and all her friends hated me. All her friends hated me, and she could never see that those friends were not her friends. She couldn't see it because you women need groupthink. You need group approval for the things that you do. Guys don't. Guys do not need to go back to other guys and go, oh, what do you think of my girlfriend? Like, is it cool if we date? Or we don't do that. We don't get, hey, this is my girl. Get the hell away. We don't want you to even know about her. You know what I mean? Guys, like, you don't even get to know her. When I got in trouble with the law and I got locked up, went to state prison and stuff, my people actually asked my wife, are you going to stay with him? My girlfriend at the time. Are you planning on staying with him and stuff? And it's so alien to me that that's how people think. You know what I mean? Oh, he ran into, there's a problem happened. You should probably get away from him, get rid of him. If you leave your person because they have a hurdle in life or something goes wrong or they fall down, they make a mistake, they screw up, and you leave them, they were never your person anyways. So what'd you stay there in the first place for? Your mistake wasn't leaving when they screwed up. Your mistake was being there in the first place because clearly they're not your person. And the people that say things like that, they don't know what having a person is, because in their world, when someone screws up, it's time to bail. You know what I mean? What happens if your person has a car accident, something not in their control, and they get paralyzed? Do you bail? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's your mentality? Then that was never your person. You keep looking. And I'm not saying it in a bad way, like I'm better than you or not better than you or my wife's better than you. That's not what I'm saying. I'm simply saying you haven't found your person yet. Keep looking. Because when you find that person, that soulmate that you are meant to be with, that the world stops for, and nobody comes between you and that person, that thought wouldn't even cross your mind. You wouldn't even think that. You know, you got to look at those kinds of things. The world will test your relationship over and over and over. And if you don't have a bond with that person, that there is just certain things that is between just you and that person, nobody else, not parents, not kids, not siblings, not best friends, not acquaintances, not enemies, nobody, just you and that person. You have to have that level of trust. And I'm not talking about like everything, and like, I'm not talking about they got to come in the bathroom with you. I'm not talking about you're never going to do anything wrong or step out. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about that connection, so that when you go out in the world, that's what you portray to the world. That connection, that nobody comes between us, irregardless of what's going on. I got her back, she's got my back, or I've got his back, he's got my back. Whatever the phrase is, whatever your relationship is. Because people will try to test that. People will try to come between you. People will try to break you up. I don't have time to explain why people do what they do. I don't even know if anybody knows. You know, I know nobody knows because every year they write another 100 books about why people split up. So nobody really knows the answer yet. We haven't figured it out. It's all up for debate. But the fact of the matter is, people do. The should of it doesn't matter. What should be, that's I always listen to arguments and debates where people say, wow, should this and should, you're not making a valid point. What should be. We're not talking about what should, we're talking about what is. And people suck. When you're out in the world, to your girls out there and your boyfriend, maybe he drinks too much. You know what I mean? When he's out and he's acting like a buffoon, get him out of that situation. Don't let him stay in that situation. He's drinking too much. He's making a fool of himself. Get him out. But don't let anybody talk bad about him either. Don't anybody come up to you and go, your boyfriend's a jerk, and then go, oh, I know, he's such an ass. He's all drunk. I'm so sorry. No, you don't do that. You know what I mean? Hey, he had too much to drink. He's a wonderful person. Keep your comments to yourself. Because if they're your friend, they don't make comments like that. They make comments like, hey, man, Jeff got really drunk. Come on, let me help you get him out of here. That's your friend. Your enemies that pretend to be your friends say like, oh, look at Jeff, he's such a jerk. Like, why do you put up with this? He knocked that over. He's making these comments and this girl's all drunk. Every time we see him, he's like, that's not your friend anyways. So why are you going to side with that one over your boy, over your man, over your husband, over your boyfriend, whatever, your girlfriend? You don't do that. You got to pay attention to this in the world. Most of the people around you are not your friends. They teach you that since you're a little kid. My dad told me if you have friends you can count on one hand in your entire life, real friends, you had a charmed life, he said. He said, you're lucky to have 5 real friends in your life. I think I've had more than 5, to be totally honest. But I could be wrong. You know what I mean? Maybe I've had less. So, and that goes for friendships too. This rule kind of trickles down. So like, let me give you an example. My name's Greg, and my husband's name is George, and we're married, right? And then George steps out and cheats on me, right? Now we've been married for 3 years. We're in a monogamous relationship, and George cheats on me. And then we have a mutual friend, Bill, and Bill finds out. You know how I know if Bill is my friend? Not if Bill keeps it a secret. Not if Bill tells people. If Bill comes to me and only me and says, Jeff, I got to tell you something. Your husband, George, like, I know this to be true. I'm not passing judgment. I'm just letting you know this happened. It's between you and me, nobody else, and that's it. That's your friend. That's someone who is emotionally mature enough and recognizes the pain this is going to cause you. So he came to you and said, look, I'm just going to tell you this because I'm your friend. I'm not going to keep it a secret because that's not a friend either. But I'm not going to tell the world. Now, if Bill would have went out and told everybody in our little gossip circles, you know what I mean? Told everybody about it. That's not my friend. What did he gain from telling all our other friends about it? How did that benefit our friendship? How did that protect me? That did none of that. You actually got enjoyment out of my failure, which brings me back to the original point. Most of the world is not on your side. So you have to be a united front when you're out in the world. It has to be you and that person. I don't care if you're fighting. If I go out with Tiff and we go to the bar and we're going to go to La Scala, see Goodman Fisk again, and she goes and, I don't know, flirts with some guy, gets drunk, flirts with some guy, and then starts a fight with some girl over said guy, and then starts arguing with one of the waitresses, acting like a complete Karen ass, just act like a jerk. I'm going to grab her. Babe, let's go. Let's get out of here. That's it. I'm not going to argue with her in public. I'm not going to berate her. I'm not going to have that, that blow up fight in the parking lot. I'm going to say, let's go, hon. We got to go. Let's get out of here. Let's go. Boom, boom. I'm certainly not going to side with the other people. I'm not going to bother nobody. I'm just going to take her. Let's get out of here. When I get in the truck and I get her home, oh yeah, we're going to fight. We're going to raise our voices. We're going to curse and we're going to go at it because I'm pissed. I'm pissed she flirted with the other guy. I'm pissed she started a stupid argument with the waitress for no reason. I'm pissed we had to leave. Yep, we're going to get in an argument. But when I'm at the bar, no, my only concern is keeping her safe and getting her out of that environment because she had too much to drink. That's it. That's where your mind has to be. Because let's say she's drunk. She doesn't know what she's doing. She flirted with some guy. She didn't even know she was flirting with him, whatever. But now that guy sees the two of you fight. And then he goes, she's kind of hot. I think I'm going to get her number. I'm going to get information on her. And then I'm going to try to get in that little in between that relationship. Why would you invite that trouble? Why would you want to? You don't ever do that. Ever. It's you and that person. And finally, the last point when it comes to sticking together and a united front, you have to have your person's back. Social media. Don't bash your guy on social media or your girl. Even if it's your ex. Because sometimes your ex becomes your current. If you guys haven't figured that out yet. Oh my God, if I could just think of how many times I've seen people bash people on social media and then 3 months later they're back together and you're just like, what are you doing? Like, that's a huge mistake. Big red flag. Don't ever do that. Don't bash them on. So it's the same thing though, out in public, out into the world. No, united front always. You have to have a united front. If you are married and you get a divorce and people don't say, wow, I didn't see that coming, you did it wrong. There's your litmus test. If you get a divorce and people go, I thought they had like the perfect marriage, you're supposed to think that because they did it right. And they made sure if they didn't work out, nobody else was going to be at fault, just them. They had to deal with their situation. I don't know why they're getting divorced. It's a hypothetical, but nonetheless. But if they say, oh yeah, they were always fighting and he was doing this, she was doing that, your laundry is out in the world a little too much. And then you have no chance. It's already hard enough to keep a monogamous marriage together for 20, 30, 40 years and stuff. In today's society and the way it's viewed by feminist agendas and all that nonsense. It's hard to keep a marriage together. Why would you introduce one more variable? Oh yeah, let's have everybody gossiping about us and turmoil and everything else. No. Out in the world, it's you, that person, that's it. That's the unit. And when you get home, you want to fight over what happened, you fight over what happened. But you don't share it with the world. And I know that's really hard for people. People like to vent to their friends. So that's another thing. Even you girls, man. God, guys, not so much. But you girls that love to vent to your friends, that is such a mistake. If you pick like one friend and you're honest with them, like, the good and the bad, maybe. But like the social circle venting and the group chat venting, oh, you're shot out. You're just destroying any chance of happiness in that relationship. There's so many reasons. What happens when you all go out together? They're all going to hate them. You know what I mean? Or if you're a guy and you're constantly bashing your girlfriend because you use words, like the slut or whatever. You give her bad names. And then you're telling your guy friends about it. And then what happens when you're out with that girl because she's still around and all your guy friends say, how do you think they're going to view her? How do you think they're going to treat her? You know what I mean? You think you're going to treat her with respect? No, you told her she's a blank, blank, and a blank. You know what I mean? So she's just whatever she is. Not good. Keep that stuff to yourself, man. Internalize that and deal with your relationships in between the two of you. All right, that's long enough. That's 15 minutes about why you have to be a united front out in the world. Take it from me. Many people will try to interfere, break you up, do whatever they can, put their thumb on the scale to try to screw things up. That's just how it is. I don't know why it's that way. It just is. But when you're out in the world, you support her, she supports you. That's it in everything that you do. She has to be your biggest cheerleader. You be her biggest cheerleader. And nobody comes between you. Ever. Once somebody comes between you, that's how bad things happen. That's how relationships end. And sometimes they don't even end for the right reasons, You don't want that. Have a great day, guys.